Good afternoon, wonderful people, and I hope that you have had a great weekend so far. So I am currently working on a Vampirella cover for Comics Elite. So it's an exclusive cover of Vampirella's 50th anniversary book. So I'm really excited about this, and I want to make this one like a nod of respect to the original Vampirella covers, and they were all painted traditionally. So I decided to color this one traditionally. Now, I am not a painter. I don't have tons of canvases and easels and all those things to do. But I do know how to use Copic marker and colored pencil and some acrylic paint. So that's what we're doing, and I'm doing it on my regular art paper. So as you can see on the back, that's the Copic marker going through to the other side. And I started by using the color. Let me get the color that I was using. I did a base wash basically over the whole background. Kara, hello! Nice to see you, hun. I did it with vermilion, R08. So I filled the whole thing with Copic marker, and that's like this part still is only Copic marker down here at the bottom. So you can see it's not like when you're trying to cover a huge area with Copic marker, it doesn't put down an extremely even wash of color. I don't really know how else to say it. Some parts are a little darker, some parts pool, all of that stuff. Thank you, K37 or 374. Levi, hello. Donnie, I miss you too, and I'm so sorry that I've been off of Twitch for such a long time. I came back from MegaCon and was pretty wiped out. I'm not gonna lie. So I would like give myself little deadlines, like, okay, I have to finish the Vampirella layouts, and then I can take a nap. And then I have to get the approval back and do the sketch, and then I can take a nap. It was like trying to hold my eyes open. But I'm a little more alive now, and this is what I am working on. So, oh, thank you, Kara. So what I did on top of it is I burnished with my colored pencils. And what that means, and I'll show you guys what that is. I don't know if burnishing is the complete term that's used everywhere artistically, but that's the term that was used in a book on colored pencil I read like, I don't know, 15 years ago. But it's really stuck with me. So it really helped me with the Drawn To, the back cover that I did. I used this same basic technique. Yes, it's kind of Frazetta meets, oh my goodness, I need to find the other guy's name. Hold please. I was gifted, which was so cool, a Bat Joke, who's on here a lot, gifted me a Art of Vampirella book so that I could look and learn and research and try to I'm not doing any homage. I'm not copying a pose or a setting or anything like that, but I am trying to emulate that more old style. Hey, Chris Love. Oh my goodness, Chris, I meant to write you about this. I will write you when the Twitch is done. I'm so sorry. Oh, I knew there was something I was forgetting today. Craig is here. Larry. You've been working 60 hours a week. Yeah, that is so rough. All right. So, this is also a new thing for me. This is masking Frisket. So, I've never actually used this stuff before, and technically I believe you're supposed to put it down before you start doing any coloring or painting. So that is a giant me mistake. Now, Chris, just so you know, before you have any form of panic attack, I'm not coloring this on the original. The original is in the scanner, safe. I printed out my pencil lines and lightened them up so that I could color it on a separate piece of paper. Also, it's a nice backup in case I royally screw up. So, I have never used this stuff before, and we're gonna have to see how this works, because if it sticks to the colored pencil and pulls off a bunch of it, then I'm not gonna use this. But, panic hard. Nice, Levi. Thanks. Okay, so, I don't know if you guys can see on this side, there's some of the little, rock formations that were present in a lot of the different covers. And so I'm kind of going back to, you know, nod to Draculon, I believe is what the planet was called, and the whole look of being in space. Well then, thank you, Levi. All right, so I'm trying to get this off right now, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to test a little tiny corner. Oh my God, I'm usually really good at this. So you guys can see me either do this right and it's a glorious win, or it's an epic fail. So we will see. But I got an X-Acto blade and this, so I'm feeling quite professional at the moment. Thank you, Larry. Hey, Stever. Yeah, see, this is probably more made for, it's more made for airbrushing. I used a lot of colored pencil on this, so that's what I'm worried about. So I'm just gonna put it somewhere where there's a decent amount of colored pencil and just see how much colored pencil it actually picks up. None! Yee! Okay, and right before, like literally 2 seconds before I turned on the go live, I went and checked how to actually apply Frisket to your artboard, because again, this is very new for me and I don't really know what I'm doing, but we're gonna try this. So what I'm working on today is the background. For me, I've found, and everyone has their own way of doing it, and my opinion on this may change next week, in an hour, who knows. But usually I find it goes a little better if I do the background first and then work on the character. Now, I did do a rough color of this on my iPad Pro with Procreate. So I did do a little rough, so I have a basic idea of what it is I'm trying to do. I figured out the lighting. I made sure that everything kind of worked on a perspective grid with the horizon line, all of those good things. But for now, I'm going to work on the background. So maybe I will be going live again tomorrow and possibly even on Monday to finish this up. So first thing I'm gonna do is basically get the whole background done. And I don't know if you guys can see this right here. I did some acrylic paint with dry brush, and I haven't been able to go into the area where she is because of stuff like that. I'm getting, the brush is starting to go into the art, so I need to protect the art. Oh, that was you, Yo-Yo. Okay, I do need to write you. I am filled up, but if I have time and I get through them quickly, there's you and a couple other people I will try to get to, but the likelihood is kind of slim. It really depends on how busy the show is. I did fill up in about 10 minutes, and then the ones after that, I still need to write you. I'm sorry. Kylie, I missed you too. I've been thinking about you and feeling like such a bad friend. Mr. E! Oh my God, we have Kylie and Kara here. Not to make anyone else feel bad. They're just my girlies. All right. Ah, this is so scary. Shit. Oh well. We're just just gonna go ahead and put this down. Okay, so the guy that I watched, he did this, and it seems to go pretty good. So you guys are gonna just be hanging with me while I do all this masking stuff. I hope you don't mind, but I can't really go forward on the art until I get the masking done. So you kind of lay it down like that. Now this is not as big as the artboard that they had, that I use. So it goes to about here, and then it's blank, which is fine, honestly. I don't super care because I want the whole bottom to be super mooshy and smooshy. Thank you, Yo-Yo. I'll email you too. I'm sorry for being such a fail. Thank you, Kylie. Oh, Kathy, hi. I hope that your sketch reaches you soon. I mailed them out about a week ago, so it does take a little while from Canada. But I hope it reaches you soon. All right, so now I have to be super careful that I don't ruin this art. I've never done this before. Oh my God, it's so early, Kylie. I'm so sorry. All right, coffee break for energy. Oh my God, and I just held up an X-Acto blade at all of you. That looked a lot more murderous than it was intending. All right. So I'm cutting out everything. The only parts that I am protecting is Vampirella and the cross thingy. Thank you, Timmers. Yeah, I'm murdery / headachy. Oh my God, this is so scary. All right, let's see, how hard do I need to press? Okay, not very hard at all. The Rainer PL held envelopes and packages until the next day. You got ours. Oh, yay! So the last thing you want to do is actually cut through the paper, because then you're just all kinds of fucked. You just want to cut through the frisket. Okay, so it pulls off a little tiny bit of the colored pencil, but nothing too bad. See, I can't do extreme painting on this paper. If I was gonna do like really painting on this, I would have chosen to do watercolor paper. I don't have watercolor board that's big enough. So I would have to go try to buy like big sheets of it that are like 20 inches by something, I don't know. And I don't have that right now. That's a great idea, Craig. Sounds very fancy. Oops. Now apparently this leaves no residue on the art, which it better not, because I have to color with Copic after this is done. Sorry guys, I should have probably gotten this done in advance, but Dan went and got this for me at the art store literally right before I went live, so I didn't have a chance to get this applied. I'm the knife wielder on paper. Just move this up a little bit so you guys can see a bit more. There we go. I'm learning new things too, because I've never done this before. There we go. All right, so it's pulled up a little bit of the red, but not too much. So I'm not too worried about it. I can always add a little bit more at the end if I need to. So the next thing I'm gonna do is finish the background and start painting the moons. I guess finish the sky and start painting the moons. Or planets, I'm not entirely sure what they are. And I've checked a lot of the old covers and they kind of, everybody colored them slightly differently. Hello, Kennethus. I got your email. I'll respond to you very soon, but it looks really good. So I haven't really come up with my own way of doing this yet, and I'm sure I'm gonna need to eventually. No, it's not an airbrush background. It's colored pencil, Copic, and acrylic paint. There we go. Yeah, you know, Kylie, I almost didn't put the cross behind her right there, but then it looked like she was holding up the top of one as opposed to leaning up against it. So I had to put a little bit right there. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this part down here at the bottom. All right, I'm almost done. Just have a couple tiny other little spots. Yeah, right? Photoshop layers is 10 times easier than this. Oh, and as a nod to the older covers, this Vampirella is 100% gonna have the blue eyeshadow, which is such a 70s thing to do. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. I might leave the masking right there. I haven't decided yet. How much pressure? Barely anything, Kylie. You're kind of basically just tracing the X-Acto blade along it, and that's plenty. Otherwise, you could use, you could cut right through your paper, and that would suck. All right, I think I will do this part, because then I'll just paint her hair over whatever I do back here. There we go. Boom, finished. That wasn't too bad. Levi gets no respect. All right, and because I'm working on actual paper, so this is the paper I do all of my originals on, and my printer here, Sheldon, that you guys know, Shadow Puppet Studios, he printed this. Well, he was actually sick yesterday, so the rest of the guys at the print house actually printed this for me, and I sent it to them, and I was like, I need this in like 2 hours, please, 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 please. So they did a rush job for me and got my line art printed here. So I lightened my lines, left the eyes in black, and the rest I turned to like a sepia. Hello, Mr. Absolute. So everything here is a sepia tone, and then just the eyes I left black. And so I'm gonna be painting and coloring in the whole thing. And the reason why, no, I printed out the line art just in case. It's in the scanner, that's right. I forgot one little spot. Okay, so now we're gonna get to burnishing. And that is what I did pretty much the whole background for. So with Copic marker, oh yeah, right there. Thank you. I did this knee on the right. I haven't done that little tiny bit right there. Which, yeah, I'll do that in a minute. Okay, so this right here is Copic marker. And then I actually have a color that's my colored pencil that's pretty much identical to the Copic marker. And then I've been using a red and then kind of like a maroon color. And then I mix some red with black to make maroon, and I dry brush added all this dark stuff up here. So all that is like with acrylic dry brush, and I'm gonna put more of that. But I was starting to, whenever I tried to get close to the art, I would always get it on the art. So that's why I realized, okay, I need Frisket for this. Okay, Kylie, for sure. That's congratulations, though. That's great. Okay. So I need to get this side looking kind of like that side. But you'll see I did a lot of coloring over here. And all of this I just am using the maroon color that I have and filling it in, and it kind of looks like a little kid's drawing right now, just really badly colored, because I'm just putting down a little bit, and then I'm gonna burnish it with the red tone, and I'll show you guys what that means. All right, so now I'm taking the red and I'm gonna go over it, and it's gonna blend it all much better. So it kind of picks up the maroon tone and then blends it as it's putting down its own color. And now this only really works with the more crayon-y style colored pencils. It doesn't work so well with the like the aquarelle ones that are a lot drier and more chalk based. This works with the more waxy based colored pencils. And you know what's actually turning out really nice about this is that it's kind of making a slightly plasticky barrier for the paper to protect it, and then I can go over it and add small amounts of acrylic paint without the paper warping. So it's a nice little surprise advantage to using these colored pencils. So these ones do not mix with Copic. These are the ones that if you try to color with Copic with them, the Copic will just kind of settle on the top like jelly and it does not look very good. But you can put Copic underneath, and then that creates a nice clean base, so there's not going to be any little flecks of white from the paper texture. So here, I tried to do more color on top, and it doesn't really work. So this paper, at least, because it's so very, very smooth and it has pretty much no tooth to it, which is intentional for my art paper, it also starts to get little globby bits with the colored pencil. So I have to be careful, and most of the darker elements where I want it to get really dark like that, I'm gonna have to use acrylic paint and just do it with like a dry brush. But I'm just blending a little bit wherever I can. And then I'll go over all of that with acrylic paint, because I want all of down here to be almost as dark as this part. And that was beautiful, Kylie. Oh, thank you, Kara. Yeah, these colored pencils are truly amazing. They're the Caran d'Ache Luminous 6901s. And my local art store, you can actually buy them individually, which is really nice. Oh, I'm so glad it makes you want to art. That's so great. Art away. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. E. You are awesome. Loves to you. So same burnishing technique where you put down a darker color and then you kind of blend it by coloring really, really hard. I'm pressing very hard with a lighter tone. And it gives it more of a painted look. Yay, thank you. So it doesn't super matter what direction I'm doing the colored pencil right now because I'm going to be burnishing all of this. And then in the end, I want a bunch of smoke all the way around her. Like this whole area I'm gonna make very dark, but then at the end, I hope, at least my plan, is to come back in and put some lighter smoke in the foreground. Hello, Wayne! Have fun at the wedding! And thank you so much for stopping by. So guys, that joke right there is the one who gifted me some Art of Vampirella books so that I could do some studying before getting started on this particular cover. And I can't thank you enough, Bat Joke. You were wonderful. Juan, hello. You're amazing. So again, this mess right here turns into that once I start to burnish it. I did, Kennethus. Yes, I did see it and it's super cool. I need to respond to you. I'm so sorry about the delay. Usually in the mornings I do email. So I get up at 5:15, and which I know I need to change my about page. I get up at 5:15 and I answer emails and get to art. This last week I couldn't open my eyes, so I'm very behind on email, everyone. I am, Wade. So this is all masked out right now with some Frisket, and then I'm gonna do more of this sort of acrylic paint on top because I want this darker sky, and then it kind of basically forming a vignette so that it brings the eye more towards her. Yes, of course, Kennethus. You finished yours before I finished mine, lol. So I'm going right to the edge. Technically the art is gonna get cut in a little bit more, but I wanna have the extra space for bleed margins and stuff like that. I decided, Kylie, because I wanted to make it a nod to the original run of Vampirella covers, and all of them were painted. Now, I'm not a painter. I don't even have all the tools for painting, so I wouldn't necessarily want to just start now. Scratch that. I would love to start now, but I just don't think I have the time to learn on this particular job, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of using the techniques I already know how to use, which is basically all the stuff that I did for the Drawn To cover I'm going to do here. So I'm going to mix acrylic paint, colored pencil, Copic marker, you know, and kind of do a mixed media piece here. Yes, this is Bat Joke's amazing influence, and I'm so grateful. This is so fun. And she 100% is gonna have the blue eyeshadow, Bat Joke. I checked to make sure I have the right colors for it, and I do. Woot! It's true, Sherlock was the test run. The sketch I did of Sherlock with the tiara was for Bat Joke as well, and I used this technique, and that's kind of what made me realize, okay, I could do this. I can get a lot of blending and smooshing going on with these, so happiness. True Deadman, hello! Jeff, hello. Yes, this is for the Vampirella cover. So I don't have a link yet because the pre-sale isn't up for this particular one, but it's part of a whole extremely cool thing that Comics Elite is doing for the Vampirella 50th. So if you want to be in the know as far as when it's available and all of that, you can go to their website and subscribe. You're an amazing influence, Wayne. What are you talking about? I'm going to get you all the link. There we go. So they have a subscribe option. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, it's a pop-up. Okay. So here we go. Here is their link. All right. Hello, Louie. It's 5 Mr. Bacon. Hello to you too. Oh, you did, Mr. E? You're awesome. It was amazing, Kylie. I was too chicken to go actually meet him myself. So his I think it's like either his agent or his convention manager or someone that's handling Art Germ's appearance was talking with me, and he took me over because I am so chicken when it comes to meeting artists I admire. For starters, I embarrass myself. I start blabbering and, you know, get all flustered, and then I'm just actually really shy to go approach anyone. So he walked me over and was like, Archer, Dawn, Archer. And then I'm like, hi. His handler, yes, thank you. Did you see a building in the background? What they are, they're those rock formations. And I've got some more sketched out to put over here too. And I have a frame already for his Catwoman thing. Oh, and that Catwoman cover that I bought a print of, he pointed out all of the Easter eggs that are in it, and I didn't notice a fair few of them. It was so cool. So he like stood there and pointed them all out to me, and I was just like, oh my God. Needs more R46. Hello, Central Park. Oh, thank you, Wade. Oh man, Kylie, I'm so sorry about that because no, I'm just little me. One artist told me that looking at me and my general, I guess I wear a lot of black and red and, you know, dark eyeshadow and shit, and I have a real bitch face. And so they're like, yeah, super scary. You look so scary. But once you open your mouth and start talking, yeah, no, not so much. Not scary at all. I am back from MegaCon and I have slept. Oh, I'm sure it did, Kara. He's hilarious. Thank you, Kylie. Okay, so I want it to look kind of like this, where yes, there's a horizon line, but the the horizon line is way more implied than actually there. It's kind of like, yes, there's an impression of a horizon line somewhere, and I really like that. Like, I wish I knew how to pull back from art better. I see a lot of artists that I adore, and the pieces that I like the most are the ones that kind of look half done. Like they're really finished in the center and then it just kind of goes smoosh and falls, you know? And that to me, I love it so much. And I want to make myself this time, if I can at all help it, to not finish it, you know? Like, does that make sense to any of you where like it kind of, you know, the boots are gonna kind of go off into nothing and there's paint all around and it just doesn't have that, yes, I painstakingly shaded every leaf look, which I do all the time. And I don't know how to stop myself from doing that. And so then I'll just start noodling in all these places and then it loses that I'm an artiste, it's all smooshy look, which I really want to do. So if I start noodling in places, yell at me, please. Oh, Steve, you're awesome. Oh, it's so great to have you here, Louie. See you later, Anne Manuel. No noodling, that's right. I did, Louie. I think they've been using that picture for all of the Fan Expo promotional stuff for a while now, which is awesome. It's like free promotion. Whoop, whoop. You love noodles. Me too. Not in the art though. So the point I was trying to make is that somewhere around here I'm going to stop with this darker color and not do it all the way. Okay, so these are some more of those dealios. So make sure they're actually straight up. That would be such a fail if they're like, hello, leaning tower. All right, so I did too much burnishing here, and so the color isn't really sticking particularly well, but that's fine because I can just use acrylic paint. And I want the sky to be lighter here, darker up at the top, and then darker down at the bottom as well. So initially I had this piece taped down, and then I was like, yeah, fuck it, I need to color to the edges, so I took it off, but it used to be taped onto this board. Thank you, Bat Joke. You know what's the funny thing? You can't see it because of the angle of the picture and because my hair is in the way, which, oh my God, I really needed to wash my hair that day. Just FYI. Too much information for everyone I know, but every time I see it, I'm just like, oh my God, I wish I just washed my hair that night. But I'm wearing a t-shirt of Psylocke that was drawn by Jeff Deckel, who's an artist I really, really admire. So I was wearing a Psylocke t-shirt drawing Psylocke for a commission, all in the same picture, but you can't see it. All right, so now I'm using the red colored pencil and I'm gonna burnish this whole area. So I've done all the like darker scribbles and now I'm gonna mix it all basically together with this red. And then I'll make up some more of the like dark maroon paint and add in all the darker backgrounds. Hello, Mikkel Crafting. Oh, seriously, Jeff? That's awesome. All right, and then this is kind of, think Red Sonja hair orange. And so I'm using that too for some of the lighter places. And kind of mixing red and this together. Let's get a little bit more of this going on. It's pretty much identical in color to the R08 Vermilion, which is the Copic marker that I use to fill the entire background. I had to refill it like 4 times, which I really hate having to refill. Shane, hello! So I'm using red here over the darker portions, over the maroon. I want a very smooshy background. Smoosh, smoosh. Dusting off my colored pencil with this one is getting it a little bit stained, so I'm gonna have to wash this brush before I use it again on an original. Yes, the emote would 100% be Sherlock. I'm not at the point yet that I can do emotes. That's the thing, I think. So the reason why I'm doing it in circular motions is because I'm trying to blend the maroon in and give it a smooshy look. I know smoosh is my term for all the things, but pretty much. Pretty much that's what I'm trying to do. Artyom looks like your dad. Yeah, that was hilarious, Stever. Oh, right, I have to do affiliate. You're right. Thank you, Tranquil. Smoosh is very technical. I agree. It is pretty cool how it blends in with the color underneath and picks it up and moves it all around. I love it. I just have to go over it with paint because there's only so much this paper can take. I think it's because my paper is extremely smooth. It has pretty much no tooth to it, which is intentional for everything else I do. Next time I would probably get like a big piece of watercolor board. But I don't like that much texture, and the watercolor board is a lot of texture. Even the hard press stuff, because diva. Almost done here, and then we will go to paint. Woot! True story, Kylie. Colored pencils are kind of like a ticking time bomb for me because there's certain times in how they hit the paper that's like nails on a chalkboard for me, like especially if it hits the wood and then you scratch the wood along the paper. Oh my God, it just creeps me out so bad. So I'm always halfway nervous that I need to sharpen it because I hate that sound. And you feel it in your hand while it does that. And it just, woo, yes, major cringe. So I'm always like happy to be using colored pencil / always on edge. Like, oh my God, am I getting low? Am I getting low? I'm not going all the way to the edge. I'm gonna have to do that vertically because I don't want to tear the paper accidentally or add a big ding onto the sides. Really? That is so weird, Mystery. The styrofoam one doesn't bother me, but it really bothers my 8-year-old son. Oh my God, he hates it so bad. All right, happiness. Now I'm just gonna use a little bit of brown and see if I can get a little bit more definition here. Hello, Erilas. Yay, thank you, Wayne. Okay, so that one I'm not going to darken anymore. I want it sort of far away. And then the one here is going to be clearer, like that one. Though I want to blur that a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I didn't do all of the background on live. I pretty much have just done the bottom part. Oh, sorry, Kylie. So I'm kind of toggling between maroon and brown right now. And these ones are going to be a little bit clearer and more in the foreground compared to that one back there. So they'll be more like this one on the side. Thank you, Enric. That was the name I was looking for. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Juan. That's hilarious, Kylie. So I'm going to let this one right here be a little bit further in the background too. All right, let's get some of that off. And I want to blend a little bit more red here. I want to soften the edges slightly. So this I painted with a little bit of acrylic already, but I want to get the edges a little bit softer. It's actually pretty handy because the acrylic then kind of makes a whole nother seal onto the paper, and then I can go back over it with colored pencil. No, I have not. We just figured out though that we can buy it now, so it's up for purchase. So now we can watch it. Oh, thank you, Wayne. Okay, so color pencils are going away for now, and it's going to be dry brush coloring. So I can't make the acrylic paint very wet or saturated or anything like that. I have to kind of get the brush pretty dry using paper towels and then go over it, which actually, you know, I'm not complaining about because I want it to have an intense amount of texture. So like there's little bits where you can actually see the brush and the texture from the brush, and I love shit like that. So I'm really happy that that it's forcing me to use a dry brush technique. It's good. I need to be forced into this kind of stuff. But like, I'm not happy that this bit of dark right here just stops right at the cross. That looks really lame. But I couldn't carry it through because I didn't have the masking stuff yet. Now that I have the masking, I can actually make this dark part go all the way in a little bit more, because just these two little bloops right here look way too obvious and just kind of like, well, you know, did you even try? Hello, easily forgettable. Oh no, Juan, that sucks. I'm so sorry. All right, let's see if this paint, oh my God, it's still wet. Check that out. I thought I was gonna have to put in more paint. All right, so I am using red mixed with a little bit of black. Just a teeny tiny bit. And we did too much black. Classic. All right, I need a little more red. Maybe I can grab this. I'm on the big TV. Oh no. All right, so I just got a tiny little bit more paint, and it's just, I'm mixing in a little bit more red. So it's just red and black right now. And I'm gonna get a little bit of water. Get all this off the brush. Since this is not the brush I plan to use, just trying to get all that off. I can't, that's for sure. I'll just fill the brush with the extra. I've had these paints for years and I pretty much never use them, like a tiny little drop here or there. But waste not, want not. That's a little more my speed, Wayne. Thank you, Richie. I appreciate that a ton. Hello, Jason. Okay, your secret's safe with us, Juan. All right, so I'm getting off the excess here, making it a dry brush. Hopefully you guys can see this. Still too wet. Thank you, Jeff. That means so very much that you like it and you're gonna pre-order it. You rock. Thank you. Oh, I missed that, Wayne. Thank you. See, now I don't have to worry about getting her legs covered. And if I get paint down here at the bottom where it's not covered and protected by the masking, I'm okay with that. Yay! Oh, really? That's awesome, Richie. Still freaks me out, even though I know that there's masking there. You can't see it, and so I'm like, oh my god, did I like pull it off here by accident? Okay, Wayne. Thank you. All right, I need to get some more paint going on in here. All right, time to get some more paint. Okay, some red on one part, and then I already have some black, so I'm fine there. That's hilarious, Wayne. Okay, mixing the red and the black. Get the last bit of red right there. And I'm just putting the paint back on here. So this is a super old brush that I've had for forever, and it's very hard bristles. Like I usually work with watercolor bristles, so they're very soft, or ink brushes. But these ones are really, really firm, which is great for this dry brush type look that I'm going for. Honestly, mostly by necessity, because I can't cover this paper with too much color, or too much water, really, is what it is. Okay, so we're gonna get a bunch of this water off. Nope, still too wet. Thank you, Wayne. I came this close to chickening out. I was just like, you know what? I don't know how to do this. Maybe not. So thank you. Dan really wanted me to try painting it too. So between you and Dan, I had the encouragement I needed. It just needs to be a little darker, right up to behind the cross. Okay, now I know you guys can't see it because I kind of colored the background where I shouldn't have, but I do have depth put in for the cross. So right now it looks very flat, but I do have some parts and they're masked out right here. Like you can see it on this little moon right here. The cross does have some depth to it. I just needed to figure out exactly, because it's quite straight on, but then at the same time, it's just a little bit like there needs to be something. So I put in a perspective grid and figured out exactly where all of those would be. It's just I did it after I started coloring it. Full. See you later, Tranquil. I'm just getting a few little darker spots up at the top. I'm giving the base of the cover a little bit of a break. I'm finding that if I let the paper sit for a little while and then I start adding more paint, it seems to go better without me having to deal with the buckling issue and warping. Okay, and then it's going to be time to start coloring the planets and moons. So I've been looking at all the coloring of the planets that there are in the background, and there's they vary. So like some artists or some settings have them like blue, other ones they're yellow. So I'm going to pretty much just make them all yellowish to match with this whole color scheme. And I'm going to have them side lit on this side, going a little darker on this side. Not the moons. The moons are not masked, Wayne, but yes, all of the white, the cross and her are masked. So I'm just going to do a little bit more dark down at the bottom. Now the base of her legs here are not masked, but that's fine because I plan to, for starters, they're her black boots. So it doesn't really matter, but also I don't want to finish the cover all the way down to the base. Thank you, Kylie. I'm gonna stop now. Okay, done. Now it's time to work on the planets. Oh no, Wayne, I'm so sorry. That sucks. It's super rainy here too. All right. Now I am just going to do a little tiny bit of darker color here on the little form stone thingies. Still too wet. So these ones are more in the foreground. Those ones I'm going to leave light. No, thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you, Tricky73. So these ones look a little too clean and refined, so I'm messing them up a little bit more. There we go. All right, so I think that all this is done, and now I'm gonna work on the planets. Just cleaning off my brush. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, Mystery. Kind of a yellowish tone, but then I'm gonna paint over and give it texture and stuff, kind of like the moon a little bit. A lot of the planets that I looked at in other covers have a lot of craters, so I'll be doing crater-ish looking stuff on it too. Last sip of coffee. No, that's great. Okay, I need my hex chart. So I'm gonna do the base tone with Copic for sure, and then I'll move into adding colored pencil and acrylic paint afterwards. All right, and I have a little, I did a kind of basic color on Procreate. So I took a picture of where I had finished or where I was at, and then painted over my painting on, well, I had to take my son to get his haircut earlier today. So I kind of did a test paint while I was waiting for him to get his haircut. So I planned out, there's a little brush here. I planned out the planets. I don't think so. Not if I do too much. If I am careful not to do too much, Kylie. I think it should be fine. I'll treat it as if there's no frisket there and I'll just color within the lines. All right. Where did I put that? Yeah, here we go. Okay, so I chose a yellowish tone to start with. It's not extremely strong yellow. It's kind of more like the YR24. It's like a beige yellow. Because then I can add, if I want any brilliant yellow, I can add that with colored pencil at the end. But I think I'm gonna play it a little bit safe with the actual Copic. Nervous. So I have my Copics in 2 different bags right now because I only took a small amount of them to the cons with me. And then I didn't bring my yellows because I knew I wasn't going to need them. At the end, I ended up using none. But yeah, I used 1 cool gray and 1 brown tone. And that's it. And they're really heavy to bring along, so I'm probably just not going to bring any this time to Denver. Okay. So I'm gonna make the planets all the same color, at least in their base tones. I'm not gonna try to do like rainbow colors for this, just because at the end of the day, I want the background to just kind of go into the background and be a setting for her, not necessarily like, hello, here's some planets, you know? Okay, so I'm just gonna start out maybe on this lower one, just to make sure this looks all right. Yeah, I'm happy with that color. No, it would not. Very true, Mr. E. Okay, now I'm gonna take YR27 and add some shadow in. So, where's YR27? Here we go. So this one is YR27 and YR24, and these are the 2 that I'm using. And what's pretty cool is that Copic marker does not stick to this particular type of colored pencil. So I can go right up to the line, I can go over the line, I can be as messy as I want and nothing happens. Woohoo! So I want this sort of underside to have a little bit of a brighter tone to it. Hey Comic Force, I'm so sorry that I've been gone for so long and I've missed you too. I was thinking about you guys the other day and wondering what was up. Whoops. I started coloring with the darker tone. Yeah, I guess it doesn't help that I've started going live at around 5 p.m. my time, which is I think like 7 yours. Sorry, I know the chisel tip is a little bit louder and causes that scratch sound. If it's bugging anyone, I'm almost done here. But the chisel tip is pretty handy for filling bigger areas. There we go. Well, you seem to be pretty chill with a lot of sounds though, Mr. E. If you were saying all the ones that bug people are sounds you like, it's hilarious. All right, now it's time to fill the big one. Oh, thank you, Mr. E. Oh, awesome, Comic Force. I'm glad you got it. Oh, it's running out. I don't want to have to fill it. So Copic marker doesn't end up being very even when you're doing it on a very, very big area like this. But for, oh my goodness, did I forget? I forgot to take the frisket off of that one little spot. But the point I was going to make is that for an area like this with the moon or with the sky in the background, it actually really works in my favor because I don't want it to be perfectly smooth here. I want it to have texture. That's hilarious, Pat Draws. So I'm following some of the naturally formed texture points for the craters on this planet moon thingy. Thank you, Jeff. Philip, hello. I've been doing good, Pat Draws. Thank you. Yeah, I've been con hopping a lot and travel, and then trying to keep up with deadlines in the middle. It's exciting, but it's everything's been going great. I hope it has for you as well. Okay, so I don't want it to be so bright up here. And that's kind of when my marker was starting to run out. So I'm going to darken that up a little bit. And for everyone who's just been joining in, my name is Dawn McTeigue, and I am working on an exclusive cover for Comics Elite. And they have something super cool that they're doing, which I'm not talking about yet. But if you want to know when this cover is coming out, because the pre-order is not live yet for this cover. But if you do want to stay up on it, 100% go follow them. And they've got some really cool stuff that they're planning and preparing for it. So I'm just going to paste their link here. And I believe that their email sign up is just going to be a little pop-up. And so you can go and sign up for that, and then you will know everything that's happening. And if you want, please and thank you, to pre-order this book, that's where you'll get all the information from them. And of course, I'll share it as well, but they're the ones to follow in regards to this book. Oh, well done, Pat Draws. Yes, I'm using the right marker. Always have to check. All right, so this part I need to remove the masking from. Oh, see you later, Jeff. The light source on the moons is way off somewhere else, and then for her, the light source is going to be straight on. Hi, Samaboo. From what I looked at, Wayne, they had that with a lot of the planets in the background. There was usually some sort of light source just off in the distance somewhere far, far away. And so the planets would be catching light like on a side for the most part. So I figured that was the right thing to do. Hello, JM Artman. He sure does. Sean has got some really cool stuff planned for the Vampirella 50th anniversary. So he is worth giving a massive follow for this whole thing he's got going on. Which I can't spill the beans on, but clearly the beans are spilled that I'm involved with it, and I'm so excited. Oh, okay. Thank you, Wayne. I'll tone down some of the craters that I've already got. So the paper even starts to warp a little bit with Copic marker, but because the Copic marker, I guess, because it's alcohol based, it dries very quickly, so it doesn't create that permanent warp on the paper like watercolor does, for instance. So it creates a very short-term, temporary warp. So this buckling that's happening right now is going to be gone in a couple minutes. Thank you, Kylie. All right, I need to remove that little spot right there. It's really bugging me because I can't work on it. Okay, so I'm putting the light one away for sure. I'm just trying to see if there's a darker tone. I guess E15 is the closest that I have to these more yellowy browns. Or E23. Something like that. Perhaps E23. Because they do this side of the planets does need to get even darker, and then I'm going to go over it with like a dark brown and give it some more texture. Not too much, but just a little bit. Yeah. Thank you, Kylie. It was really starting to bug me. I'm sure it was bugging you too. Okay, now I just need to gently take this off. Did I cut my hair? No. I'll show you guys what I do because I've had a few people think that I've cut my hair, and then I'll show you. All right. So what I do, just to not have to deal with quite so much hair, is here we go. I fold it up underneath. I don't know if you can see this, and then I clip it at the top. So this is like maybe half of my hair, a little less than half. And then it's all the rest is basically in a folded over bun. True story, Wayne. I'll be careful. And thank you so much for calling me out on noodling too much. I really need that because I don't want to go too far. Yeah, they're really hard to find. And then Kylie, I tried to like put a clip in my hair the other day, and you know how they have a plastic piece glued onto the front of the, glued onto the metal part of the clip? Well, I tried to like fit all my hair into it. Actually, it was only half of my hair, and I broke the plastic part on the top because I guess I tried to bend it too far. Long hair problems. Oh, whoever just followed me, thank you so much. You've been there, yeah. Who's leaving? Juan Solo. Thank you for hanging out, Juan. I haven't quite decided how much of a light source the moons are going to be as far as doing backlighting on her. I'm inclined to think very little. Oh, thanks, Mr. E. All right, so I'm gonna give E23 a little test, and since this moon down here is kind of inconsequential, it's my test moon. You are awesome, Mr. E. So now I'm using E23. And I think that works because it does need to get a little darker on one side. Not necessarily on this stream, like you said, Kylie. Nick Hayton, thank you for the follow. But yeah, I'm gonna stream again tomorrow, and if I'm not done with this, again on Monday. Though technically I need to be done with it by Monday, so fingers crossed, but yeah. Not by their deadline, I don't have to be done by Monday, but by my work schedule, I need to start on something else on Monday. So we'll see. Monday is, or at least next week is, starting on Wednesday I'm packing for Denver, and then Thursday I leave for Denver Comic-Con. But on Monday and Tuesday I want to start doing concept art for Divinica 5. Whoop whoop. Kara, with the clips, I think I found them at like Shoppers, I think, and they are oh, sorry, I've just got to say this. See what Wayne wrote. Thank you, Wayne. I so appreciate your help, your encouragement, everything. You are wonderful. Mwah. Have a good one. We get to see color of the cross. Yes, okay. Yeah, so it's not the Medusa cover yet. I'm gonna do the cover at the end. Like, I know I already have the sketch done, but still, JP Roth and I discussed it, and for the first few Divinica pieces, I did the cover first and then did the interiors. And once I was done with all the interiors and the concept art, I kind of changed things around a little bit to where I feel like it will be better if I do the cover after the interiors are done. So if we change anything with the look of the character, the look of how the snakes are handled in her hair, all of that stuff, I'm going to do the cover at the end. No, sorry, Kylie. But I will be doing concept art. I need to design a new character, and I also need to design how we're going to draw Poseidon, because he is going to be featured in this book. So there's going to be a lot of fun drawing happening. Yeah, so JP Roth and I were talking on the phone the other day, and I wasn't starting drawing it yet because I still have to finish up a few more deadlines, but I have a bunch of notes, so I just like sat there with my iPad just taking notes. So I'll be referring to all of the notes of the things we discussed and ideas and thoughts JP Roth had, and yes, it's going to be a challenge, but it's going to be fun. It might. I'm not sure what direction you're thinking, Kylie. Yeah, it's gonna be so challenging to draw, that's for sure. And I haven't even decided, like, because Divinica is colored on the interiors traditionally, I haven't decided what format and method I'm gonna use, so it's gonna be exciting. He is not. That is correct, Kylie. Yeah, okay, Kara, the thing I was telling you about Shoppers, I think that's where I bought them, or maybe it was Superstore, but they have clips. They're not very big, so it'll only be for like half your hair, but they have silicone on them, so they don't slide out. True, watercolor would look good. I'm probably gonna do watercolor just because it's a lot faster than Copic marker. Yes, I want to use the Yupo paper because I bought a little pack of it, and I might honestly just stick with that little pack, and I'm going to do a lot of the backgrounds for the pages with the Yupo paper, if it works. So like for text pages, or you know, some pages where there's like one element or whatever, I'm gonna make all the water. So think like a bunch of teals and blues I'm going to make all the water splashing around and everything with the Yupo paper, and then mix silver into it. So even though and all of this is like literally just happening in my head. I haven't tried any of it yet, but I'll try it with you guys on Twitch another time. But yeah, I think what I plan to do is use silver in the Yupo paper, so like it's laced with silver, which when scanned, it won't have the metallic look, but it might look a little bit like seafoam. So, because it's got some texture to it. So I think that might be really cool. Mr. Little Wolf, thank you for the follow. Yeah, check for, what they are is they're just like the normal metal clips, but then they have a silicone strip on the inside to keep it from slipping out of your hair, which is really handy if your hair is really heavy. Thank you, Mr. E. You're amazing. They might have them where you are, Kylie. Because I don't think it was a Canadian brand. It was that, I think it's a German brand. That's kind of everywhere. Umber, maybe? I can't remember what it's called. My God, it's so nice to use this masking stuff. I think I'm gonna use it a lot more. Okay. So I think I've got as much as I can do with the Copic markers. And now I'm going to switch to colored pencils, and then I will move on to acrylic paint, kind of the same way I did the background. Okay, so that I'm done with. Now, I don't know if I have the right color for the moons. Scratch that. I think I do. No, it's the wrong colors. Wrong pencils. Okay, well, this might work. And maybe this. Some browns. And I'm planning to use a more reddish brown because still right now they don't look like they're part of the sky environment. So I need to start mixing in some of the more red tones so that they don't look like stickers stuck into the environment. And then I'm going to use some of the same brush, like the black that I used, that kind of this color, and put it going over the planets in a few spots. So that it mixes in and kind of all starts to look like it's part of the same sky. Dabbing the paint probably, but perhaps a slightly different brush for the actual planets, and then for the environment and like the more darker clouds, I guess they are, I'll use the big round one that I used last time. maybe I'll throw in a little bit of that orange too. Okay, so this is just, we're gonna try it out. And the really cool thing is that if I don't like how this looks, I can erase it. So I'm just bringing in a little bit of the environment color onto the edges. Thank you, Kylie. I probably should be doing this on one of the other smaller moons, so I will be moving, or smaller planets, more like. All right, so this is perfect. This yellow is a little bit more beige-ish, and it works great as a tone to add into the moon. Let's do the test run down here. Okay, this is a more deeper brownish orange, and then this is actually a darker brown. Throw it into a couple little spots. Like that. And then I'm gonna go over all of it with this yellow and just cross our fingers and hope this works. Thank you, Mr. E. So now I'm just trying to blur a little bit of the actual color between the background and the colors on the moon. Some red. There we go. Something kind of like that. And then I'll add in some of this darker sky tone after. All right, let's try this again. So I started with the orange tone. Then some brown. So it's gonna look darker initially, but then I'm gonna be going over all of it with that same yellow color so that it'll relighten it a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna use the yellow. That might be a little bit too bright. So I'm going to bring a little bit more of this orangey tone I used in the sky. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to do this little one, and I'm just slowly working my way around to the big one. Some shit takes courage, people. Kylie, if you have any kind of tool or pad or anything that you can get Procreate on, I highly recommend Procreate. It costs $8 Canadian, so probably around the same in Australian. And it has perspective grids that you can make it yourself, so you can set up the 3-point perspective and then you're golden. So that's what I use. If I've ever got a piece like this one, for instance, I had it sketched out, drawn out, but then I actually knew where I wanted the horizon line to be, so I just pulled it into Procreate, took a picture with my phone, pulled it into Procreate, and then got the grid in how I wanted it to make sure that these lines here and the perspective on the cross were actually correct with the horizon line. So I can't recommend Procreate enough for any of those perspective grids. They are amazing. I use them for any cover I need, perspective or interior. Procreate. My pleasure. So this side I've got quite a bit darker on the actual piece, like the sky and everything. So then I'm gonna make this planet a lot darker than, say, that one. You're gonna do amazing, Kylie. And that's too yellow. I'm gonna try this orange and see if it works. So I'm changing around the colors that I'm using for the burnishing as compared to what I used for some of the ones down there. I'm actually using the background tone here. Oh, hey, Keeman. Thank you so much for the raid. Yeah, thank you, Kylie. Okay, so now I'm using orange instead of the yellow. There. Lighten that up a tiny bit. There we go. No, thank you, Keyman. How was your stream? Did it go well? Oh, good. Oh, hey, the Red Gamer. Thank you, Yo-Yo. Literally just a massive amount of winging it right now. I do not know what I'm doing. Thank you, guys. So it's not going to end up looking this dark once I do the burnishing on top of it. But for now, this is where the cover is at. So it always looks a little different once I put the final wash of the other tones on it. King Gamer, thank you. Thank you, Philip. So this is a reddish brown that I'm using right now. And it really does look like, you know, a kid, kid's coloring, because I'm not trying to get the shading very good here, because I'm gonna go over the whole thing and like blend it all together in a minute. No, King Gamer, I don't. Usually I use Copic marker, which are these guys. So I did Copic marker first, and then I'm using colored pencil second. I don't use colored pencil very often at all, but I did a commission for someone of my cat, and I used these colored pencils, and they blended so well, it almost looks painted, and I was like, damn, this is gonna be fun. So what I'm trying to do here on this cover, because it's an exclusive cover for Comics Elite, and they don't have the pre-sales live yet because it's part of a whole cool thing that they're doing. This is the link to their website. So if you want to be notified when this cover is live, definitely go subscribe to their email list. It's a pop-up right when you get to the website. And then you can sign up and be notified when this goes live and the whole cool thing that they're doing for the Vampirella 50th anniversary. And so what I wanted to do with this one was to not do an homage, but to do a nod, kind of like a retro cover, in because of how the covers were done by Erickson many years ago in the 70s. And so I'm kind of trying to give it that more traditional nod to the early era of Vampirella covers. So that's what I'm doing here, and that's why I am coloring / painting it traditionally. Yeah, true. The Arteza, I've never even heard of those before. I'm gonna look them up. Thank you, King Gamer. I had a fantastic time, Philip. All right, I'm just pasting that name, Arteza colored pencils. Okay, so that I can look them up. Very cool. Right now, the colored pencils that I am using are the Caran d'Ache Luminance colors. So right now I am burnishing with the orange tone, which is the base tone that I used for the sky. It's kind of, think it's the color of Red Sonja's hair. And that's how I'm blending everything together. Oh, it was great, Keeman. Thank you. These coloring pencils, they cost me about $6 Canadian each, so they're not cheap. Wayne is back. Hello. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit more with this darker orange tone, and then I'm gonna switch to the lighter orange and then to the yellow along the edge. King Gamer, thank you for the follow. Thank you. No, Kleidodox? No, it's not. Sorry. That one I've discontinued. Thank you, Wayne. I wish I had a slightly different color that could bridge the gap between these two. So I'm gonna see if I can find something like that for next time. But for this time, I'm just gonna have to wing it. I guess I can blend the two of these together as best as I can to get that bridge. It's in my Womanly Wiles one. Oh, yay! It looks like Groot screaming on the planet. Well, definitely shoot straight with me, Wayne, if you think I'm doing anything that doesn't look right. Thank you so much, Wayne. That is correct, Keeman. Hello, Rogerio. Hello, Kellis. Okay, so now I'm doing the blending with, it's kind of like a deep yellow / orangey tone. And I think this is the same color. 030, yeah, 030. And then some yellow. Thank you so much, Keeman. Have a good one. Okay, I'm almost done here. There we go. Sometimes they'll say what they want on the cover, and then other times I decide. It very much depends. So on this one, I sent in 3 different layouts for them to choose from, and then they're numbered. So I have 1, 2, 3, and then they chose this layout. And then when I had the idea that I would like to try coloring it by hand so that it looks more retro, I checked with them about that first too, to see if it was in line with what they kind of had planned for the whole cover. And they were like, cool, go for it. So it is really nice to get those options to try something out, and I'm really grateful to them for allowing me to, which is a lot of trust because I've never done a traditional color for them before. So they're just like, okay, go for it, you know. So it's very awesome of them, and I definitely hope this doesn't disappoint. But then, like when I did their Detective 1000 cover, I got kind of they had a plan of what they wanted. So when DC sent me the email, it was like, Comics Elite is asking for you for a cover, and this is what they would like drawn. So, you know, it really depends. There we go. Thank you, Comic Force. All right, so colored pencils are going away, and now I want to get a little bit more of the black smoky stuff that's around and add that in and start putting it over the moon in a couple places, because the moons need to incorporate into the background. Oh, thank you, Wayne. Well, this was your encouragement, and I love it. I'm so grateful. This is so fun. Thank you, Kylie. All right, so I'm going to see if I can activate this paint or if I need to start over. So this is what I'm doing. The paint's a little bit dry, but dry is good for this because I'm not working on paper that's meant for acrylic paint. I'm working on my usual paper stock, which is what I use for Copic marker or pencils. So I'm having to be pretty careful and only work with a dry brush and kind of touch it very carefully and lightly. Oh no, that's fine. No, well, not with that one, that's for sure. A lot of my older stuff, I just start to discontinue them. Okay. It's activated enough for what I need, and then I have to take a bunch of it off the brush. And it has to be pretty dry. I'm getting it even drier. Nope, not even dry enough yet. Gosh, when I think it's dry enough, it isn't. That's hilarious, Wayne. Little bit. I'm gonna pinch this together because I want it a little bit more intense right in the middle. Oh, super old Wayne, like with a bunch of cracks in it. I want to give it a lot of texture, you know, yeah, really, really old looking. So probably what I'm going to do next is remove the masking from the cross. Do the cross and then her at the end. Dithian, thank you so much for the follow. Oh, no, not yet. I'm so sorry. I still need to mail them. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm traveling so much. It's been really hard to get to. Oh, thank you so much, Clydiox. I really appreciate it, and I'm very sorry for making you wait. Thank you for your patience. Okay. I'm gonna put just a little bit. It's not supposed to be part of the sky here. I'm just trying to get a little bit more texture. Some faux texture in there. That's a good point. You're right, Wayne. I'll try to do that. Yes, that was so awesome, Philip. Thank you for telling him to do that. I don't know if you saw, I posted a picture about it in Boop Squad. I don't, Wayne, but I'll get some. You're right. Okay. Stopping, Kylie. Arms are up. Thank you. All right, so I really only have half an hour left. So I'm trying to think what I should do next. I guess it's time to start going on the cross. Because I'm going to do the cross next and then her last. I'm less nervous about the her. I mean, she definitely matters, but I've colored people a lot. It's the background and, you know, planets and stuff that I have not done very often at all. You're right, Wayne. They would. I will do that for sure. Okay, so now I'm going to remove the frisket from the tombstone. Not her, just the tombstone. And I'm going to cut it into her hair a little bit because I actually want there to be a pretty smooth transition from her hair to the tombstone and her hair in general. I really liked that look in a lot of the older covers where her hair, at least in the few that I was looking at and that I really enjoyed, is that her hair wasn't like, there wasn't a stop and start clearly defined with her hair. It had that soft painterly look, which I really, really love. So I'm going to try to do that here. What's oichin? Oh, mossy stuff. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea, Kylie. So like here, I'm going to do the tombstone quite far into her hair, because then I can paint her hair over again myself. I love that. I think that's a brilliant idea. Thank you, Kylie. Oops. I didn't cut around the thumb. Oh no. Yeah. There we go. Not Soylent Green. Yes, true. Did I already do along here? No. Yeah, I definitely, like, I didn't draw in a lot of texture and stuff into the cross, because then those lines would have gotten in my way, whereas now I can do all of that. So I agree with you guys. It needs to look pretty gnarly. Nearly like your lasagna. So this was here before I got the masking tape. But I should be able to handle that without too much trouble. And just, I'll cover it up with whatever paint I'm going to be using. Okay. And then along here. I did for me, Wayne. I thought it was pretty thick. At least waist size wise. Okay, so the background, I mean the cross is now free of the masking stuff. And I have 14 minutes. I know that my characters, I keep drawing them thinner and thinner, and I don't really know why I'm doing that. There's no deep meaning. It's just what I've been doing. So I am trying to like help them gain some meat on their bones a little bit. But maybe I didn't quite do it enough. I don't know. Oops. Okay. So now to find the right stone color, because the environment that she's in is very red, right? So really the question is, and with a lot of the Warren covers and stuff, the Vampirella is kind of in a setting, but her lighting is not really picking up from the environment a ton. It's kind of more, the environment is back there and the character is standing or, you know, separated from the environment behind. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to give a lot of the ambient colors onto the cross or not, because that makes a difference as far as what color I'm going to make these. Yeah, you're right. She probably does need a sandwich. Oops. All right, so I'm just gonna get the rough colors that I did, because I did like a quick demo test run for myself. Oh, I know, Wayne. It's good. I'm glad for all the critique. Dan is really on my case about it. So you're in good company. All right, so I went with a pretty dark gray with a little bit of a hint of brown mixed into it. I did a quick demo paint for myself. I just did a little thumbnail so that I wouldn't get all super into it, but I would at least have a basic idea of what I was going to do here. Because I didn't want to just go flying blind on something this intense and time consuming. He really does. Yes. Big time, Wayne. Okay. Color for this. Let's look at some grays. You know what? That E71 might really, really work because it's got a little bit of a warm undertone. Because I need it to look like stone, not like wood or too cool of a gray. Let's just do this just to see. I don't feel bad. It's all good. All right, so what do I have in the way of grays? And I'm sorry, guys. I do just kind of think out loud when I'm on these live streams. So I don't really have much in the way of gray. Ooh, but I have a good moss green. Handy. Oh, okay. So I have one gray, my one measly little gray, but I think this is too far into blue. Hold, please. I'm gonna get a test paper. Yeah, and you're right. I really thought, like, Dan made me redraw her body a couple times because he's like, no, thicker, thicker, thicker. And so I was like, okay, she's got like some wide hips going on, but I guess not. All right, so this is very bluish undertone. Now, maybe if I mixed a little bit of brown into it, it might work. Let's try that. Let's try both of the browns that I have. Well, that kind of works, but it's very dark. Let's see the toners. I mean, if worse comes to worse, I'll just paint it, you know, and I'll just have to be really careful. Ooh, that's really dark. Let's do T6. Hey, you're back, Jeff. Yeah, we were talking about this. Oops. I really thought I was nailing it, Wayne. I was like, nailed it. Okay, maybe this will work if I then add in some of the environment tone. Hold, please. Let me locate it. Yeah, okay. Here, this is environment tone. Say I did that, and then did this. And then anywhere that I needed darker, I can add darker. Lighter, I can add white. Oh yeah, putting the white on top of the orange environment color actually works quite well in giving it proper highlighting. Oh, see you later, Arilas. Well, I don't really want to use cool grays because then they're going to look very blue against this background, which I don't think would be correct. But let me try E71. Now this has the mask over it, so if it does bleed through, I'm not too worried. So that's E71. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Philip. E71. Yeah, I think the orange tone works. Maybe I'm gonna try warm grays. I know sometimes I'm a little too hesitant with the warm grays. Where did I put them? But maybe this, because of the background, it should be a warm gray because it's a warm background. So let's give this a shot. Let's see if I do the warm grays and then sorry guys. This is proving a little bit trickier than I anticipated. But if I've learned anything over the last while, it's that I need to do my homework before I start throwing colors at stuff. Maybe this one's the right one. Yeah. So this is kind of like a washed out, it is Caran d'Ache, but it's the Museum Aquarelle ones. And then that seems to work. And then I can add in some gray and then just keep blending them. So I think that this might be the right look. And then if I need to, for some ambient color, I can throw in some of that, and then too cold, so I go toner grays with pencils to warm it up in the right places. That's true. Well, I will probably do some tests down at the bottom on this actual paper to make sure that it's correct. So I'll do some test runs, and then tomorrow we will be working on the cross, because I may do some off live stream like tomorrow morning, and then probably work on her at the tomorrow during the live stream. So that'll be fun. Gabriel, it is right when I'm leaving. I'm so sorry. But I think a lot of stuff got done today, and I am pretty satisfied with how it's looking. It's better than I was expecting. Oh, thank you so much, you guys. Okay, so reminder, this is coming out by Comics Elite. Sorry, I'm getting texted that it's dinner time. So this will be out for the Vampirella 50th anniversary. Put out, it's of course published by Dynamite, and it is a Comics Elite exclusive, and they have something very cool planned for this cover and more awesomeness that they're working on. So please feel free to follow them. You can just search Comics Elite on Instagram. You can find them there. Let me get their website again. And I'll post the link here so you guys can follow them. And I will be working on this throughout the weekend. So I will be going live again tomorrow, probably at around the same time, which is about 4 p.m. my time. So 4 p.m. Mountain Standard, which is 6 Eastern. and I will continue working on this. This is gonna be fun. And what I'm doing here is a retro style cover, so that's why I'm coloring it traditionally and just aggressively winging it. Thank you all so much for your encouragement, being here, your input, yelling at me when I start to noodle. All of those things are so awesome, and I am incredibly grateful. I love you all a ton, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Whoop whoop.